Hey guys, and thanks for tuning in to RealLifeRen. If you're watching this video, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for clicking on this and for watching it. It really means a lot to me because growing a YouTube channel from nothing is really hard and can be kind of discouraging when you're making all these videos and you're not really sure if anyone's watching or if anyone cares. So if you are watching this and you do like these videos, please subscribe if you haven't already. Give it a thumbs up and even write a comment below and give me some encouragement. I'm just gonna keep making the videos and putting them out there and trust that God will bring the people that He wants to hear these messages. Before I get into the subject, I wanted to give a little backstory on how I came about this video. So yesterday I was all excited because I had this next video planned out, and so I went ahead and I recorded it, and as I finished recording I realized that the whole video just did not come out the way that I thought. Sometimes you have this idea in your head of what you want to say and what you want to portray to the audience, and then when you make the video you just feel all over the place and it just didn't quite come off the way that you were intending. So I said, scratch that, I'm gonna start over. I re-recorded the video completely, which takes quite a bit of time, went to edit it, got about halfway through editing it and realized I had the same exact problem. It just was not coming out the way that I wanted it to. I was like, what's going on here? And after doing a little bit of soul searching overnight and kind of this morning, so the subject of the video yesterday was going to be about how important it is to spend time with God every day and how Christians can't expect to feel close to God and experience His power and be in a really close relationship with Him if we're not spending time with God. The problem was I had not yet spent time with God yesterday. So here I was putting together all these videos and I hadn't even done what I was telling everybody else to do. So the videos came off as very condemning and harsh and just not loving at all. And at the end of the day, I don't ever want people to watch my videos and go away from it feeling bad or feeling condemned. So this is take 3 of my video. I've been dealing with a lot of doubts when it comes to this channel and just creating this, and what's the purpose, what's the point? Is there anything that I have to bring to you guys that is of value? And I really feel like the devil has been putting thoughts in my head about, me being unworthy to really do this. Pretty much after every video I make, I have these thoughts that come into my head like, this is stupid, why are you doing this? You need to just delete this channel, no one cares, no one wants to hear this. That's something that I'm really having to fight because there are moments where I'm really sure that this is something that I'm supposed to do, but then I have these moments where it's just really hard to keep going. But I want to share with you 3 verses that are an encouragement to me to continue doing this. And those 3 verses tell us as Christians that we need to do 3 different things. And those 3 things are to be an example by the way that we live our life, to preach the gospel to all people and all nations, and to love people. So Titus 2:7-8 says, "In everything set them an example by doing what is good. In your teaching show integrity, seriousness, and soundness of speech that cannot be condemned, so that those who oppose you may be ashamed because they have nothing bad to say about us." I mean, how amazing is that verse? Mark 16:15 says, "And he said to them, go into all the world and proclaim the gospel to the whole creation." I don't know if every Christian knows this. We are all called to minister and preach to the world. And that doesn't mean every single one of us is a minister or a preacher, but in some way, shape, or form, we're all called. And lastly, 1 John 4:21 says, "And he has given us this command, anyone who loves God must also love their brother and sister." And that's pretty plain and simple. We have to love people. So as I was thinking of how to remake this video and how to make it to make it sound less condemning and to come off as more loving, I wanted to give an example from my own life to show you that I am not perfect, and the reason I'm saying this to you is because I've had a problem with it in the past. And my confession to you today is that for the majority of my Christian walk, I had basically no desire to minister to people or to love people. I would serve at church growing up, and deep down inside, I was basically just doing it because I knew that I was supposed to do it. When it came to really ministering and loving people, it felt like a chore, and it was hard to get myself to do those things. And maybe on the outside it didn't appear that way. I would act like, oh yeah, this is great, I want to, serve God and love people, but deep down, I was thinking thoughts like, oh my gosh, I'd so much rather be hanging out with my friends or doing this or that. And to be honest, that was one of the things that really drew me to my husband, is that when I met him, he seemed to really truly love people and want to minister to them. And that just blew me away, because I was just like, deep down I didn't feel that way, and I was like, how does he have that? How does he so naturally want to love people and learn about the Bible, and he's so interested in the Bible? And it felt like pulling teeth to sit there and read the Bible sometimes. And honestly, it's only been over the last year that I've really discovered why that was happening and what the problem was. And at the end of the day, the problem was that I claimed to be a Christian, and I truly did believe in God, but I did not have a authentic relationship with him. I was not putting in the time to build my relationship with God so that I could see his heart for people and be able to see his compassion for people, in turn use that compassion to serve others. As humans, we are naturally selfish people. We come out of our mother's wombs selfish. And when we choose to draw near to him, that is when we see the way that he sees people. We are able to understand how he loves people and understand his compassion for people. And when we fill ourselves with God, that pushes out that selfish nature, and then we are able to really use his love for people as that motivation to love people and to minister to people. I can't create these videos and make this channel without first filling myself with God. Otherwise, my videos would turn out every time like they did yesterday, just full of myself and coming out sounding terrible and not loving. But when I choose to fill myself with God, then I am able to give you guys the message that God has for you, because then it's not me, it's him speaking through me. But a lot of Christians just don't put in the time to get close with God, to spend time with him, to fill themselves with God, so that that selfishness is pushed out, so that when we go into the world, we have that desire to love people, to help them, to minister to them. When we're so filled with God, we can't help but love people, because that's how much God loves us. At the beginning of this year, my New Year's resolution, just like every other Christian, was to get closer to God. But this year was different, and I put my heart into it in a way that I never had before, and got closer with God in a way that I never have before. And I started seeing people differently. As I was reading my Bible every day and taking the time to watch sermons instead of TV, and put on worship music in the car every time instead of secular music, it started to shift the way that I see people, the way that I interact with people every single day. And not just in this setting, but when I go to the grocery store and I see someone that is in need, do I help them because I feel obligated, or do I help them because I actually have a desire to see the people in this world changed for God? So at the beginning of this year, when I started seeking God in a whole new way, the idea for this channel was birthed, and it took many months to kind of get to the point where I was ready to do that. But I knew that as I filled myself with God, I was overflowing, and I just felt this need to share it with everybody. And I was like, how can I do that? But I knew that I had a camera, and I knew that YouTube existed, and I know that a lot of people watch it. So the idea for this channel came about, and here I am today. So I just wanted to encourage you that if you're feeling discouraged where you are with God and where you are with your Christian walk, I challenge you to look at how much time you're spending giving time to God and really investing in that relationship. Is your Christianity just a belief and something that you say with your mouth, or is it something that you live out every day? If you say you're in a relationship with God, do you do the things that most people do when they're in a relationship, which is spend time with Him, communicate with Him, and show Him affection? The Bible says that if we love Him, we will obey His commands. And I promise you, if you start to invest your time into that relationship and really truly live what you proclaim, your life will transform just like mine, and pretty soon you'll go to the grocery store and you'll be surprised at how you interact with people. You'll start seeing situations to bless others out of your heart and not out of that obligation. So I hope that this came off a little better and a little more loving and less condemning. I just want you to know that none of us are perfect, including myself, and we're all in this together. And I don't want you to feel bad about the way that things have been in the past, but to move forward, to be better and to do better. And in this community, we can be a support for each other when we struggle with things like this. So thanks for watching, and I've got a lot of other videos that I have planned, so stay tuned for those.